Okay. All right. Hi. So we're going to kick off this meeting. I have two of my buddies here, Amy and Danya, and they can see you here and then up there on the screen too. So tonight is our second meeting of our little Tubi community. And again, I have them fill out these just like quick questions. Mom and Dad, I have them do these. Like, I wish in relationship with food, I want to know, learn, or understand, with this program, or like with food or nutrition, whatever it might be, and then how food makes them feel, and then what their favorite foods are. So it's kind of related to nutrition stuff. If at any point you have questions or whatever, just you can wave frantically and I'll unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. But we're super excited to be here in the midst of, there's a huge storm right now going on outside. And Dad, our garage door is not working either. So that's fun. He'll be like, yeah. And so we're gonna kind of get things kicked off. Hopefully, what we'll do is we have a very special guest and a speaker, and we're gonna hear from her for a little bit, and then afterwards, I want to kind of check in and see how your week was, anything you're struggling with, questions you have, and just shoot the what, and just talk whatever you guys need to, just whatever, because it's community, and it can even be not related to food or nutrition or whatever it might be, if you need to kind of chat about anything that's going on. So let's oh gosh, like I don't even know when we first kind of, Maureen and I met. So she is one of my sister coaches, and gosh, like where did we, I don't even know in person when we first met. Like, was it at Philly Super Saturday? It was just this past year, wasn't it? Or was it at Summit before?
No, I feel like it was at a Super Saturday.
Then maybe it was just in Philly in April.
Nope, I wasn't in Philly in April. So then it was Summit.
April.
What?
April. You were there in April. She wasn't there with T-Stuff? Okay, whatever. Oh, then maybe it was just in July. But the point is, like, we've known each other probably like year and a half, 2 years, whatever it might be, but we've never like physically met. But it doesn't matter, because this is just how our lives roll. So I asked her to be a speaker for this call tonight because we have some people that are they're following Tubi mindset, but they're also, some are doing Lift 4, some are this and that. But I feel like these principles they can take and put into everything. Like this Tubi mindset kind of is just, it's just life-changing for so many people. And when I thought of the person besides like Alana, I was like, Maureen. Alana's the like, she created it all. But I was like, who is living, breathing, like having so much success with it? And it was my friend Maureen, who, Dad, she lives in like Buffalo, New York. So she's a New York, not Giants. She's Bills fan. So we're okay with her.
I'm a Bills fan, yeah.
And she roots for the Eagles because the Bills, she doesn't have to root for them very much. So I'm gonna kind of mute myself, and she just graciously is gonna just talk about her kind of journey with this. You can share a little bit of your story, you can however you want, and like we're good till 8 o'clock. So if you like whatever, how much time, if you go over, like whatever you need, and we'll just kind of go from there. If you guys have questions, like just write them down, and then we can ask her once she's finished. Does that sound good? Okay, great. All right, I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. She already told you that my name is Maureen. I do want to say that I am 40 years old, and I'm super proud of that. And that's going to play into some of what I'm going to talk about. I'm a wife, and I have 2 small children. I have Adelina, who is 7, and my Sammy, he's 5. And it has really been a mission of mine to try to figure out how to be healthy and stay healthy so that I could be a good role model for my children. I've been a coach for 5 years. I started when my son was born. I needed to do something different, and I am truly a lover of everything Beachbody. I have done all kinds of workouts. I won't even go through the listing of them. I have tried various meal plans and nutrition plans that Beachbody offers with their programs. I also want to tell you that I have autoimmune diseases. I have hypothyroidism, I have Hashimoto's, and I am starting to have markers for lupus. So I feel like my health sometimes beats me down or wants to beat me down. And I'm also going to say that I am a survivor of abuse, of all forms of abuse. So between my mental and my physical health, it's not always easy to find something that you can stick with and that you have success with. I've literally tried every single diet that has ever been on the market. I've tried pills, not proud of that, but I've definitely tried pills. When ephedra was on the market, I did it. I'm not even going to lie. I was super bummed when they took it off the market because I was like, great, now what am I going to do? I used to be a smoker, and I think I used that as like a crutch to not eating lots of food. Always had issues with food. And I'm not blaming my parents or my family or my upbringing in any way, shape, or form. But we had a strict rule in our house that we finished the plate, that we were not to leave the table until we were done eating, and that we finished everything that was on our plate. And in my household, that literally meant I was not leaving the table until I finished everything on my plate, which could be 10 o'clock at night when I was supposed to be in bed. So, and my family eats for everything. We eat for celebrations. We eat for sadness. We eat for deaths, for marriages, for everything under the sun. You're stressed? Let's eat. You're happy? Let's eat. You're engaged? Let's eat. You found a new friend? Let's eat. You're getting a new job? Let's eat. You're having a promotion? Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's eat. And I've developed awful habits when it comes to food. And I'm an emotional eater. So I heard like the teeniest, tiniest bit about To Be Mindset when two of my friends who are on my team, so down the line a little bit, became part of the test group. Now, I will tell you that they stuck to their guns and never said a word. But the only thing that Danielle Shabronsky told me was, Maureen, you are going to love this program when it comes out. This program is going to be for you. And I had to wait for like 2 years for the program. I was so mad. And I was like, don't tell me anything about this. And all she ever said was, it's so silly, it's stupid, and you're going to love it. I did not realize how true those statements were going to be. So I feel like your metabolism starts to slow down as you grow older. Some people say that is not true. I've spoken with lots of doctors. It can be true. I think we can fight genetics for long periods of time. I'm Italian. My family, we are meant to have bigger thighs and butts and not always the slenderest people in the universe. So sometimes I'm fighting against genetics as well, but you can. So enter into Be Mindset. As soon as I knew this program was coming out, I was like, I'm doing it. I don't even care if I don't have the money to buy the program. I'm buying the program. So I had quit my job because I wanted to continue to do Beachbody coaching and I wanted to be present for my children. So it's tough when you're doing that. Lots of stress. So To Be Mindset comes along and I went full force. I watched the videos. I did not start until I actually got my tracker, which I carry with me everywhere. I even have like papers inside of it. Like this is like life. Okay. My tracker is life. And that is going to be one of the tips that I share with you. But I just want to continue on with the story. So I wanted to wait until I had my tracker, but also, truth be told, we were going to Disney World. And in my head, because of the mindset that I had been in before, I thought, I cannot go on a diet before we go to Disney. And I certainly did not want to be at Disney and be like, oh no, mommy can't eat that. And I didn't want to do that with my kids. And I really try not to do that anyway, because I don't want them to think that they can't have food or they can't have something. I would like us to choose healthier options and have that power and authority in our own lives to be able to choose that. Because I think it's helped my son to choose vegetables more than me being like, you have to eat that now. So, but I will tell you that in my head, I said, I will try to follow the 4 bunnies while we are away at Disney. I will do it to the best of my ability, but I will not deprive myself. And I watched a huge chunk of the videos before we had even left. So I felt like I was ready to go. And I never in my wildest dreams thought once I started that I would just fall in love. First of all, if you haven't watched any of the videos, Alana, you will fall in love with her and her personality. And she gets it. Like, she gets it. She is an emotional eater. She knows what it's like to be somebody that's gained a significant amount of weight, and then you fight to try to lose it, and you just fail and fail and fail and fail. So she knows and she gets it. And when she speaks, you hear it coming truly right from her heart and her soul. So she spoke to me. And the 2 things that hit me the hardest were, girlfriend, if you want to have that wine, you have that wine. And if you want to have that piece of dark chocolate, you have that piece of dark chocolate. And I was like, yes, soul sister, yes. So now I don't drink wine every night, but when I want to have a glass of wine, I want to have a glass of wine. And I don't eat dark chocolate every night, but when I want to have a piece, I want to have a piece. I had my greatest success with the 21-day fix. I lost a lot of weight. I needed the assistance with portion control. I was so out of control by the time I got into that place. But then I felt like a caged up animal. I could not go back to it. I literally felt like a caged up animal. I felt guilty and shame if I wasn't staying within my containers. And it made me feel bad. And when I feel bad about a nutrition plan, I can't follow it. In fact, what ends up happening, no lie, is I go completely in the opposite direction. I binge, and I will just stuff myself for no other reason but to just do it and self-sabotage. I did do that. I'm not doing that anymore. My mindset has shifted completely. And what was the point for me was when we came back from Disney, so we were gone for almost a full week. When we came back from Disney, I got on the scale. So I got on the scale right before I left. And then I got on the scale when I came back. And I had only gained 0.4. 0.4 while I was in Disney. I followed the bunnies to the best of my ability. I had dessert when I wanted to have dessert. I had a glass of wine if I wanted to have a glass of wine. In the evening, once we were like settled, because the kids, we were nonstop. But I had it and I did not feel bad about it. And when I came home and I realized I can do this and not feel deprived, and I only gained 0.4 on a vacation, which was probably gone and then some, like later on in the day. And I lost that and more. I have successfully lost 18.2 pounds, and I am beyond proud of myself because of that. And I will tell you that although I am having lots of success, it is not always easy, because there are so many bad habits that are ingrained in me. And there's still so much emotion that's tied with food, with having or not having, with realizing that I have the power to choose. And although I am not perfect, I do really well. And every week it gets a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And I can tell you that since May 7th, we had a trip. I had a birthday. My husband had a birthday. They're 2 days apart in May. Then I had my birthday wine tour. I definitely had wine and was eating pretzels, because apparently when you eat pretzels, it cleanses your palate when you have another tasting. So I was definitely eating pretzels and cookies and crackers and whatever else. It was my birthday and I enjoyed. We had 3 deaths in the family. I went away to Summit. My husband had surgery. He had a bowel reconstruction surgery, so he was gone for a week, came back, had to go right back into the hospital because he got very sick with an infection. It was a scary time, my friends, and it was super stressful, and I still was able to stick with the plan. It has changed. Oh, I feel emotional. It has changed my mindset so much, and I feel free. And that's a big thing for me because I really was a slave to food, like a slave. Like I would throw something out, and if it was still like in a package, I would pick it out of the garbage can in our kitchen. Yes. Or I would wait until my husband went to sleep and my kids were asleep, and then I would go and binge on food because I had such a bad day and I was stressed out and I wanted to stuff those emotions down because I didn't want to feel them anymore. So I used food as my thing, right? Some people smoke cigarettes, some people drink wine, some people do all sorts of things, okay? Sometimes I'm surprised I'm even still standing after all of the things that have ever gone on in my life. But this program has truly helped me to take control over my life with regards to food. It has helped me to take control of my life with regards to not being afraid to step on a scale. And when I do step on the scale, understand that if it goes up, it's not a big deal because I'll know exactly why it's gone up. And when it goes down, I celebrate that. And if it stays the same, I celebrate that too, because that means that I didn't gain and I just need to make an adjustment. It's still a learning curve. There are still some things that I'm figuring out about food when I'm having treats, when I'm having certain treats, when I'm having different carbs, breads. I do love bread, but my body doesn't really love it anymore. So I don't really eat it unless it's sprouted grain or gluten-free. But all in all, I am truly enjoying myself. I am enjoying food, which I love, 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 love. The Italian in me will never stop loving food. But I know that I don't have to use that as my crutch to feel good. I can feel good by doing other things. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. I will go on forever and speak about this, but what I do want to talk to you about are some tips and some tricks that have helped me before any of you ask any questions, because I may end up answering now. Tracker. This is with me all the time. It is a hot mess. It's gotten wet. I carry it in my purse. I carry it everywhere I go. I know that there's an app and some people like the app, but there is something so special and so unique and so beautiful about having this and being able to leaf through and check it out and then have those wonderful quotes that Alana has put in here for us to help keep us going and keep us motivated. But more importantly, it is writing down what I have put in my mouth. It is a level of accountability that I never really have used before. I used my Fitness Pal. I used the 21 Day Fix app. And when that came out, not going to lie though, I wasn't on it like I am now. And I think it's because of the freedom. The other thing that I want to tell you is I have a partner. I have a support partner that I talk to a lot. Like annoyingly almost. She never says that I'm annoying her, but like we talk multiple times throughout the day. In the beginning, I think we texted a lot more than we do now. But it's because of her and being able to talk through my emotions regarding the scale. Sorry, Dad. Regarding that time of the month, ladies, we all know that what that does to our bodies, but even just learning what that can potentially do for me. We talk about wanting to have certain food or not wanting to have certain food. And her support has been unwavering. It has been non-judgmental, and it is coming from a place of truly understanding because she is going through the same thing too. We started right about the same time. I think she might have like a week on me just because of my Disney trip, even though I kind of really did start. So I am finding for me that having a partner besides a group, we have our group, we talk in our group, it's a pretty active group, but having that one person, and every night I send her my tracker. Every single night, still to this day, there's been a few times that I've missed and a few times that she's missed. But I send her my tracker because it gives me that level of accountability, and it keeps me on track. It keeps me in a weight loss mode. And even if I've not had a weight loss day, it still helps me because it's an extra level of accountability. I don't share my tracker in the group. I'm not sharing it with everybody. I would though. At this point, I totally would. But I think starting, it was scary. And like I said, I have all of these bad habits ingrained in me. The most recent meal kind of nutrition plan fad diet thing that I did was a paleo primal, very, very close to like a keto type diet. And I'm saying diet because that's what those were. It was not something that was sustainable. It was not something that I could continue on. In fact, I lost 8 pounds and then gained 10 back. So not only did I lose, but I felt so restricted, and it just was not good. I think that's what ended up throwing my hormones off balance. And my thyroid went completely out of whack, which it still is now. We're trying to get my numbers back. But I think doing that really messed me up. That's why you got to be careful about these fad diets. They're not healthy for anybody. The other thing I'm going to say is, and I'm totally tooting Beachbody's horn and Alana's, is this. One of the things that I do in my spare time is I am a per diem social worker, and I work in a dialysis center. So just super brief, the dialysis center that I work in, those patients have end-stage renal disease, which means that their kidneys do not function without the use of a dialysis machine. These are people that have had lifelong medical illnesses. Some of these people never took care of themselves. I will tell you that probably 80% of them will say, I wish I would have listened to my doctor. I wish I would have listened when they told me to lose weight. I wish I would have listened when they told me everything in moderation. These are people that have diabetes and they don't keep it under control. So it's made me a lot more hypersensitive about health. And I work with a registered dietitian. That's what Alana is, a registered dietitian. And she told me, oh my gosh, please don't do keto, because keto actually builds up ketoacidosis in our urine, which is not good for our bodies, and it is not good long term. It could be very damaging to your kidneys. So the fact that this program was designed by a registered dietitian, they know everything about nutrition from the moment food enters your mouth all through digestion and how your body reacts to things, blood sugar levels, protein levels, all of those things. So talking to her only reinforced everything that Alana has said. She is the real deal. Also, if you guys didn't know, somebody that is a registered dietitian has got not only a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, but a master's degree. And I feel like that's somebody I would want to listen to, who has education behind them and a licensure. That's what being a registered dietitian is, which is different from just somebody that may say they're a nutritionist. There's no certifications necessarily for nutritionists. So having the backing from not only the woman that created this program, but also somebody that I work with who is like, yes. She like loves this, loves everything about it. So it's just even more validation. If you didn't think you were going to get it from Alana, I'm telling you, I've spoken to real life registered dietitians who 100% back this program. Sorry, I need some water. Chatty Kathy over here. Some other things that I will tell you. I know that Alana talks about drinking half of your body weight in ounces of water. Here's another little tip and a trick I'm going to give you. That doesn't mean that's enough for you. I like coffee. I will not give up my coffee. The only times in life that I have ever given up coffee is when I was pregnant with both of my children. I did give it up. And then the moment I was able to get it back, Mama was drinking the coffee. So I will not give up my coffee. Now, when you drink coffee, it dehydrates you. So you know what you got to put back in? Water. If you're somebody that likes to have sodas, or if you have salty foods, you know what you got to put back in? Water. If you're somebody that works out, which some of us do, some of us aren't able to, even if you're not pouring with sweat, you're still sweating. Guess what you got to put back in? Water. So half of my body weight in ounces of water, I think, is somewhere around, I don't know, like 60 some ounces of water or something like that. Do you want to know how much water I drink? Y'all, I drink 160 ounces of water, which sounds crazy. I know it sounds so crazy, but from the moment I wake up until, not literally till I go to bed, because I don't want to be up in the middle of the night, but I'm drinking my water. Sometimes I put lemon in it. Sometimes I put some cucumber. I mix it up a little. Sometimes I just go all natural with my water, but water is vital. And I will tell you, in the first few weeks I realized how much water I was not drinking. And I also realized that your body will let you know when you've had enough, because you will feel awake, alive, renewed, and refreshed when you are drinking enough water. Not to mention the fact that your muscles and your body just overall needs it. The other thing too is that when you're eating a lot of fiber, which we all are, you want to drink that water because it helps to push the fiber out. Otherwise, it's going to get stuck and you can tend to be a little bit gassy when you're not drinking enough water. So get your water in. And the other thing is, use that tracker. Use that tracker and be honest. Be honest about your licks. Be honest about your bites and your tastes. And I find having carrots, raw baby carrots on hand, and celery that's already cut is super helpful for me. If you guys have a Wegmans, or you have something that's like a Wegmans, it's the best store in the universe. I'm sorry if you don't have Wegmans. I have Wegmans. There is a brand, it's called Bare, Bare. They make carrot chips, okay? All it is baked carrots with just a little bit of salt. Not a lot of salt, so the sodium level is not high. Just carrots. So if you're needing that crunch, I tried to make my own. It doesn't always come out so great. They're worth every penny. It's a nice little crunch. It makes me feel like I'm having like potato chips, but I'm having carrot chips. So I'll stop for there, because I will go on all night long and talk to you. I could talk about this program all day. I talk about this program all the time because it's not only changed my life, it's given me my life back. I feel healthier now than I have felt in years, not just here and in my body, but also in my heart and my soul. And that may seem cheesy and corny, but when you're somebody that has experienced all that I have, and you are super an emotional eater, having freedom from food and freedom from the scale and the negative connotations has really given me my life back. So I'll keep talking. I will. Talk all night long.
Thank you. No, that was amazing. I know that I have questions for you, but I didn't know if...
Oh, wait, one more thing. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. Here's something else that I want to share with you all. I am doing Lift 4. I am not following the Lift 4 meal plan. No, sir and ma'ams, not following it. And I'm going to tell you why. I am having amazing success with 2B Mindset. So the idea for me to go back on some other kind of nutritional plan, not happening. Sorry, I know Beachbody has wonderful nutrition plans. I back them 150 kajillion %. For me, there is nothing else that I will go to. I will never go back to the 21-day fix. I will never do another 3-day refresh. And I used to love 3-day refreshes. Like I used to do them like every couple of months religiously. No, I will not. And I want you to know that since I'm doing Lift 4, I am still losing weight following the 4 bunnies. I may not have a massive loss in my week, but I am losing weight just following 2B Mindset, and I am doing Lift 4. So I wanted to add that in there too. I know we want to follow the nutrition plans that are offered, but I want you to know you can give yourself permission to keep doing what works for you, because it's working for me. And I wanted to add that in there too, because I know you said people were doing Lift 4.
I'm glad you said that, because I think, which I'll just talk. So I think, and I wanted to ask you about this, for those that have come from the containers, to come from, you don't get on the scale, but on this, we get on that scale every single day because you're tracking that food, and then you see, oh, well, I'm seeing that when I eat XYZ, like, it's affecting my body this way. And you can see it different ways. It can be up, down, whatever, all around. I know that I struggled with it a little bit, and I was telling Danya about it too. We were talking, and I was like, there's no portion, you don't measure. Like, you don't have to measure. You look at your plate and that, but like, it's different, and it's different from what we've kind of been conditioned to do. Yes. With all these other programs and stuff. However, it makes it more feasible, and yes, people are having more success. I think, especially because everybody I could probably say on this call has some sort of not healthy relationship with food, right, in some sort of way, like, So did you find like that kind of transitioning a little difficult? Like with Lift 4, he gives you that cheat treat day kind of thing, where before it was like, it was very strict. And like you said, when someone tells you, no, you can't do it or have it, it's like, I'm going to have more.
Yes. Oh, don't tell me no. No. Don't you tell me no. I'm going to eat it. And it's like a child when, like, you tell them not to do something and they do it anyway, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, baby.
We all have kids.
Sorry. But it's like that too, right? When you're like, no. And again, that's my mindset. And I would like to say that's my old mindset, but the transition for me felt freeing. But then here's where I feel like I started to notice changes where there wasn't movement happening with the scale like I would like. And I'm like, but I'm tracking and I'm plating it and I'm doing her plate it method. Why isn't, like, what is happening? And then I realized this. I was so used to, I had to eat my containers. And I was so used to, I have to finish the food that's on my plate. And even when I think I'm free of that, sometimes I think it comes back. I got to finish and I got to eat my containers. So I have to finish and I have to eat all my meals. You don't. I think as you do this, so I'm in what? May, June, July, August. I'm in month 3. You will start to have a greater awareness of your body and what it needs. And I call it mindful eating. I really try to set the fork down. I know sometimes it's really hard with kids because you're constantly like, or you finally have a chance to eat, so you're like, or at least that's how I am. I mean, that's how it's been. So what I have found is, even in those instances where it's like, okay, they're done, I can eat now, I don't manch face crazy. I will take a bite, I set the fork down, I chew, I savor, I enjoy, pick it back up. And I call it mindful eating. I'm just not stuffing my face super fast. That's what I used to do. Like, it was like a race for the clock for getting it done. And it's crazy because my husband, he was in the military, they had this thing where you would have, like, I think 10 minutes or something, I could be off on that time, for whenever the last person came in to like chow, to like eat, and you had to be back out. if you're the last one, oh, well, like you got to eat your food fast. So he was eating really fast. And I think, you know, as, association brings assimilation. You just start to pick up those habits as well. So it was freeing for me to say, I only have 3 meals. I don't have to have the snack if I don't want to. And I don't have to eat everything that's on my plate. It's okay. It's that I think was is the biggest adjustment, is knowing that I don't have to clear my plate. And it's okay if I'm not hungry. I don't have to force myself to eat because I got to get in 5 meals or 6 meals or however many. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that makes absolute sense. Do you guys have any specific?
Did she do her Shakeology for one of her meals?
Do you want to talk about your Shakeology in it?
For me, I drink my Shakeology in the morning. That's my breakfast every single day. That's my consistent breakfast. The only thing that I change with that is the fiber-filled carb. Why? It's easier for me. I have 2 smaller children that are crazy wild. So during Monday through Friday, it's just easier. It's easiest for me. Weekends, sometimes we make, like my husband and I'll make eggs for him, or he'll make eggs for me, and we'll have that as a breakfast. Then I will shift that either to my lunch, or I will shift it to a snack. Like there's been times where we've had events or things that have happened and I just didn't get it in. So I might just do it with water as my snack, because me not having Shakeology with autoimmune and digestive issues, I can't skip it. For me, I just can't. Like that just doesn't work for me. So I have it as my breakfast. If I, for whatever reason, I'm not going to get it in for my breakfast, I will shift it to lunch. I've never shifted it for dinner. I think I'm still in that mindset of like, that's the biggest meal, even though it isn't anymore for me. So I want to chew my dinner. But I know sometimes people like to do that. That's just dinner time is like family time. So we're like all sitting around together and we talk about our day. So I like to like be eating with them.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you have a question? You good? Does anybody else have questions? You can unmute yourself and ask them. Anyone?
Don't be shy. It's okay. No question's going to be silly. Trust.
Here, I have one. So me and Amy talk about this all the time, and my husband says it too because he's doing Lift 4. I don't actively do 2B. I've been actively following Lift 4 because as coaches, that's what we're told to do. Follow the program, see the results. You know the deal.
I know the deal. That's why I'm rule breaker, breaking all the rules.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. If it works, that's what you said. If it works for you, do it.
Yes.
For you. But have you seen yourself have an increase of, I don't want to say need for food, but the hunger level is just through the roof for me right now?
Sometimes.
Okay.
So some days I feel starving even though I've eaten. Mm-hmm. And I think it depends on what day. Like sometimes it like today I was like starving and I'm like, what? Today's a rest day. Why am I starved?
Like the day after though, of like a big lift or something, like pushing yourself.
So I do not deprive myself. Do not. And this is something that we worked through with, we have a group that's running of people that are just doing 2B mindset. And I have asked before, like, what if I'm hungry? So let's say I had my Shakeology already for breakfast. Okay. And I did my workout and whatever, and I'm still starved. I will have Shakeology with just water, or I will chew on some carrots, some celery. And last night I actually had, I made one of her Wonder Whips, or I'll just give myself some yogurt. Like if I'm feeling so starved, I will not deprive myself. And even though that's not so like in the way hers is, I give myself that. And she has a video and has talked about what you should be doing if you're working out or you're working out more excessively. I will not deprive myself. If I feel hungry, especially the day after like a heavy lift, and I hit it hard during the hits, harder than I normally have. And I think that's another reason why too, is that I feel like that, but I will not deprive myself. I'll have a second Shakeology. I do find though, when I have Recover, it helps. I don't always have Recover after my meal or after my workout.
Yeah.
If I work out late, I don't always have Recover, because then I know the scale could be wonky the next day, but I do not deprive myself. I will eat, but I will make sure that I'm eating because I'm really actually hungry versus, I'll drink water first. And then if I still am feeling hungry, then I will.
I think that's the difference of it. We have to learn what our mind is telling us versus what our body is telling us, because our mind says take because we're doing something hard, we're doing something that is challenging, but in the reality of it, our body doesn't need that to do it. Our bodies were built to do it, so we need to continue to push ourselves and only feed for fuel, not for the satisfaction of a reward that we did something heavy. Oh, you lifted really big, then go ahead and
eat that burger, whatever. Yeah.
And eat all that stuff, because that's why people weren't seeing the results that they want, I think, with Lift 4, because the cheat day is in there. And I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means whatsoever. I'm far from perfect, but
I'm definitely not perfect either. And
like,
here's the other thing that I will say, and I just had somebody come to me about this, that they were saying, I feel deprived. And I'm like, why do you feel deprived? What is it that you're deprived of? Now, 2 weekends ago, not even going to lie, I had 2.5 glasses of wine and I ate Cheetos at like 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock at night. And my husband looked at me and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm eating Cheetos. And he's like, I don't even know if I wanted it, but like I just, or needed it. But I was like, I'm going to eat the Cheetos. And I kid you not, I literally enjoyed every single piece. I did. And I said to him, and I was saying it for him and I was saying it for me. Sometimes I think we need to have that cheat, because I think our body does treat. I think our body does get accustomed to like that, it's on. You're clean eating, you're following the nutritional plan, you're doing. Sometimes I think our body needs it. I lost weight. Guys, I got on the scale after eating. It was one of those like, those mini snack bags of Cheetos. And I had 2.5 glasses of wine. And then I went to bed. And I think I lost like 0.8. And I'm like, what? I think sometimes it has a lot more to do with up here. Because really, I feel like I should have gained, right? Especially having wine, it kind of makes you retain water in that. But I think this is all mental. And I think this is you gaining awareness about your body and how your body reacts to things, and fueling versus rewarding.
But the way I look at it is, think if you didn't have that small bag of Cheetos, what would you have done a month from now when you saw those Cheetos? You would have went for the big bag instead of the little bag, and that whole bottle instead of 2 glasses, and just gorged yourself to the point where you felt awful. Then you would have fallen off the path, and then it would be a continuation.
100%. Even after my birthday wine tour, I mean, let's be honest, I was having wine. We went to 5 different wineries and I had like 4 tastings at each one. And the scale reflected that, like it definitely did. And my old mindset would have been, well, forget it. I'll start again next week, why? Right? Like, why? We don't need to do that. I just got back on it. Like, I obviously didn't have tons of silly carbs the next day. I ate nutritious food and drink a lot of water. So yeah, my mindset before would have been, forget it. I'll just drink all the wine and eat all the chips and all the pretzels and all the whatever else. But I don't feel like that anymore. But being able to process how I feel about it, for me, that works. For me, being able to just say, I'm so mad at myself because I did this, and the scale didn't move and I'm mad. And then it's like, I'm not really mad, because really at the end of the day, it's not.
It's how you feel, not what that scale says completely, though.
And even if the scale doesn't budge, that number is not a definition of who Maureen LaMarca is. That number is just a number on my body, like of my body. It's not who I am. That's not who I am. It's just a tool that is helping me to learn if I'm losing or if I'm learning. It's just a tool.
Chime in, Amy. You're going like this.
Thank you. We were talking, and I was like, it's not like it says like 160.8, and when I walk around, people are like, oh, you're 160.8 today. Because 158.3. Like, it's not that. Yeah. Do I? I used to actually really, it would, and like for me too, I'm sure you guys have even seen like those, like it'll be like 3 or 4 different people and they're all the same weight. They all weigh the exact same when they step on the scale, but they're all different. And you were saying that, like Katie and Maureen, about like, it's not like, it could be like you drank extra water, so it's a little bit of more water weight that you're holding on to. Like you might be doing lift 4 and you're gaining a lot of muscle, so like your body, you're gaining like lean muscle mass and losing fat and stuff, but muscle, your muscle weighs more, so like there's that kind of stuff going on. But it's a whole, like, it's a mind thing.
But even if I feel like I have done good for,
she was saying,
if I have a great day, staying just within what I should be eating, I feel thinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though the weight has not, or the scale has not changed, you just kind of feel like taller and thinner, rather than
it's your,
and it's not changed one bit.
It's your confidence, but also because when you're eating good food, that's how your body feels. Because when you're eating the other processed and the chemicals and all that other kind of stuff, that makes you feel sluggish. That makes you feel kind of like blah.
Well, and what else it does too. So I'm a therapist by trade. That's why I'm a social worker in a dialysis unit. And eating the processed foods, the foods that are high in sugar, the real fatty stuff, that wreaks havoc for people that have depression or anxiety. It will increase your anxiety. It will increase depressive symptoms. That stuff really will make you sicker mentally. So the fact that you're saying, I feel thinner, I would agree that you probably feel that way, because you're giving your body overall what it needs so that it functions at its best, even this part of your body. And our brain is like the most powerful thing in our body. It truly, truly is the most powerful. So if you're fueling it so that it can be healthy with foods that you're putting in, it will help your mental health as well. And something else that I want to add too is, you were talking about like the number on the scale and like people of different shapes and sizes. So I'm really excited when I go back to the doctor in October, because I'm going to, no matter what, I'm going to be less. But when I got on the scale at the doctor's office, I was 143. And for me, I was like, heck yeah. Like I was like loving life. Okay. I'm 5'1". I'm 5'1", 143. Some people may be like, oh gosh, that's kind of, So the doctor, brand new, he's brand new to me. I'm meeting him for the first time. And this could be make or break for me, because I will fire your butt.
I'll throat punch you. Right?
I will throat punch you. You will not say a word about my weight, and you better not say it in a negative connotation, because mama don't play. So and I was wearing like workout, I think I had like workout clothes on. And he said to me, because that's pretty much what I wear anyway, he's like, oh, 143. Wow, you have a 27 BMI. And I was like, oh, you better be coming at me with something good, because I will rip you apart right now. And he was like, I would have never guessed that was your weight. You look amazing. And I was like, ew! Like, I didn't really do that in his face, but I was like, listen, I teach fitness classes. Oh, I didn't even share that part. I teach fitness classes too. And I'm slinging weights around besides, like, I teach a kettlebell amped, which is not a Beachbody workout, but I also do Country Heat Live. So, like, I'm teaching classes. So I know, like, no, before I was eating awful. So I know now my body is in the burning fat and building muscle, because you can see it now. Like, you can see it in my arms, you can see it in my legs. And he's like, oh yeah, your calves are larger. And I said, my thighs are too. It's okay. You can say that, because I know. I said, but it's solid. Like, you can feel the muscle. And he's like, well, if you're slinging around weights the way you're talking about it, I'm sure. And he never, like, there was zero negative connotation surrounding the fact that I'm a 27 BMI, which to your BMI, because, but so anyway, do not let the number define you. My cholesterol is perfection right now. My blood sugar levels, perfection right now. My blood pressure is like perfect. My pulse rate, like all of that stuff. So that is all important. But I can also tell you that, once you're getting it right in here, it's not going to matter what people are saying. And we're not defined just by that number. We're really not. It's just a learning tool.
Exactly. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything you want to, like, overall ask, or anything you want to share? Any victories anybody wants to share? Any struggles?
Amy, I want to chime in for a second.
Go ahead.
We talked about this a little bit last week. Maureen just said about processed foods and things like that. And my parents are on a very, I don't want to say a life-changing thing, but my dad's been suffering from a lot of heart issues. He has what's called AFib, atrial fibrillation, whatever you want to, I should know because I've heard it so many times in the past 4 years, but his heart goes in and out of rhythm on a very constant basis. And it's frightening, because when it does that, it's sending pulses out that can send blood clots to you. And there's so many people out there that have it that don't even realize that they have it. So we're lucky enough to know that he does suffer from this. And he's been treated for numerous things, and we've done numerous procedures, and recently a pacemaker and stuff. But his specialist that he sees, who I honestly, me personally, my body has hated me for years, and I've seen many doctors, which I'm healthy now. Let's knock on wood somewhere. But with him, this doctor that he has, there's just something about this man. Like, you can just tell he has that, like, genius in him. And I was with him the one day, and he brought this book out to him. And he goes, Fred, we have you where you need to be. You're in rhythm. We put a pacemaker in. We're going to keep you in rhythm, but I need you to eat like your grandmother ate. And he's like, okay, my dad just turned 70. His grandmother, we're talking over 100+ years ago. What he meant was, okay, so he gives him this book, and I'm just like, I need my hands on that, because I'm a control freak. And I have been through this for 4 years with him, and I'm like the right-hand man in this situation. And I'm like, this is what he's saying that we're doing. This is what we're doing, and I'll do it with you. And everybody's going to do it, because I'm sick and tired of the hospital stays. I'm sick and tired of you being shocked every 6 months. Like, what is it? So he hands him this book of an all natural, I don't want to say so much a vegan diet, but it is a plant-based nutrition guide. He goes, if your grandmother would not have put it in her mouth, you're not to put it in your mouth either. And this is what he gives every one of his patients that are suffering from heart disease, any type of, he calls it wiring. So this atrial fib, that causes your heart to react in different ways. And this man, who has been sought out like you wouldn't believe, to come to our local hospital, which thank God, he pushes this on all of his patients. I mean, he has people coming from all over the United States to see him, and all he's telling them to do is, your body is kind of revolting on you because you're eating all this processed crap that you don't need to. And he's saying, okay, I got you in working order. Now follow this plan to sustain that way. It's a sustainable way to lose weight, but not only to lose weight, but to keep you overall healthy. Like you said, we get our mind wrapped around that number so much, but it's not so much a number. Some people are predisposed to be the body type that they are.
Yes.
My father will always, till forever, and always has, carried weight in his stomach. That's just how he's built. He has no butt, just in his stomach. It's not that he's overweight. Nobody's telling him that, things like that. But we're now talking about food for health. We're not talking about food for weight loss. And I don't want people to get caught up on the fact that it's all about the scale. It's about what is happening inside our body with the thyroidism and everything else. Like,
my husband had bowel, I hate to interrupt you. My husband had bowel reconstructive surgery because he had diverticulitis, and back in March he had a perforation in his bowel. And when I tell you by the grace of God, a bubble formed so the fluid inside did not go out into his gut. So he is truly blessed to be alive. And his surgeon, brilliant man. And so my husband talked to him. We had the surgery elective so that he would not have another recurrence of this, and to save him, obviously. So they cut out the bad piece of bowel. And Nick brought in all of the stuff about 2B mindset, because at this point I had already been doing it. And he brought in all of this information because he printed it all out, because I would not let him take my tracker or anything else. So he printed the stuff out, and he brought it to the surgeon, and the surgeon said, 100%, this is what you need to be eating. This is what you need to be following. And the other question that we asked is, how do we help my son? Because all of the males in the family end up with bowel issues and diverticulitis. What do we do? And he said, I know it's tough because he's little, but try to get him to eat the same way that you're eating. Try to get him to eat the fresh fruits and vegetables. Mm-hmm. And just like you said, it's about health. It's about doing it now while we can, so that when we get older people, we still are able to function in our bodies because we've not continuously done damage for X amount of years. And there are ways to help reverse some of that damage by fueling your body properly.
Mm-hmm. There is. And that's the main thing, because my dad came to me and he's like, the damage is already done. It's over with. I'm like, if you have that mindset, then you've given up, and we're just done with this conversation. And he is a meat, potatoes, avid hunter man who's been told, like, let's cut the red meat out here, Fred, and like, let's draw it back. That was hard.
Yeah.
That's very hard. But we dug deep into it, and this program, like the program that he's on, it's saying, like, if you want it, you can have it. But don't sit down and eat like a 10-ounce ribeye. Like, let's be smart about this stuff. Like, pick the piece of salmon because it has more healthy benefits of you, and things like that. And there's ways to make it, and that's always the kickback for people. They hear one thing and they're like, "Ooh, I don't want to eat that." Well, I made it a point this past week, and I said, because my mom was one, I don't eat fish. Had her come over. I'm like, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna eat this piece of salmon, and you're gonna tell me how it is. Well, it's not that bad. How did you do that? Like, you have to try. Don't say you can until you try. That's with a workout program. That's with nutrition program, that's with anything. And this is not an end all be all. Like, this is it. I mean, it's kind of like the Michael Jackson tour, but like,
Yeah.
everybody's going to live through it and be healthier.
And that's it. You know, it's, and this is so sustainable because you can eat what you want to eat. You talked about how in the book, it says, this book that, you know, the doctor gave your father, this stuff is sustainable over time. We can continue to do this. Like, so there used to be this mindset that people that had diverticulitis were not supposed to have stuff with seeds or popcorn or stuff like that. Do you know that that's a lie?
Well, the funny thing
research suggests that is not true whatsoever. You can have everything in moderation.
You see that, and the funny thing is it's back to this doctor who I think is the cat's meow, who's treating him right now. My father was put in the hospital this past December for a diverticulitis flare-up, and he had a slight perforation of his bowel. You know why? He sat down and he thought he was doing something good for himself and ate a whole case, like 24 bars of like fruit and nut bars during hunting season in like a week time frame because he wasn't stopping to eat.
My husband had probably like, I'm not even exaggerating. He probably had like pounds of popcorn.
Mm-hmm. And then they wonder what happens to him.
Yeah. Like pounds
all right,
of popcorn, like 3-4 times a week for like 4 weeks. Like, and not just like a couple bites, like mowing down on popcorn.
Mm-hmm. And then it was like Thanksgiving and Christmas season, and there's bowls of nuts sitting around and everything else. And it's gorging. It's not a sustainable here and there. Well, he was on this kick that nothing was seeds. No cucumbers, no tomatoes, no zucchini, no good nuts, nothing like that. I'm like, you can't live like that. Like, that's not, you cannot do that. Like, white rice and potatoes are not good for you. We're not going to play this game.
Yeah.
And his doctor now, fantastic guy, he's like, Fred, he goes, first off, that's BS. He used different terminology, but I'm not going to say that because I have children in here right now. And I sat there and I listened to him, and he goes, you eat the nuts. You eat the good stuff. What I'm telling you is not to eat the processed food. If it comes out of a box, don't eat it. If it comes out of the ground, if it's a plant-based food, eat it. Don't sit down and eat a whole can of nuts. No. Anybody that doesn't even have a strong bowel is not good for that to happen. But it's all consciously thinking of what you're doing. And what are you doing?
Hiding.
Sorry, that was my rant for the night. I get really passionate about that because my goal of this program is to try to push information down to them. And I think sometime as coaches, we kind of get looked upon as, well, we're the ambassador of a product that we have to push, even if we don't agree. I don't want to say don't agree upon it because there's nothing that has been brought up that we don't agree upon, but
it might not work for you.
Product. And you have to realize what the actual good is. And this is the good. I mean, this is the nitty gritty of it. And it's proven. It's not even proven for a fitness community. It is proven for a medical community. And to me, it's more important to be medically, conducive, I want to say, than to be conducive for a company brand.
Yes, I feel what you're saying. And I don't think that you are knocking Beachbody in any way, shape, or form. But when you have that medical side of it too, that's saying, yes, do this. Yes, eat like this. This is how you should be eating. Like, this is what needs to be happening for you. And then you're like, why didn't you guys come out with this sooner? You knew Alana for like years, jerks. Sorry, but like,
it's not the keto. It's not the high fat, low carb diets that we're used to. It's not the portion control. It's do what your body's telling you to, because overall, that's what what everybody needs, no matter if they're doing a program or if they're not. Right, Harper?
That's right. What was I gonna say? Oh, Katie, do you think you could get, if anybody wants the name of that book?
Yes.
You know it offhand?
I do not.
Oh, I thought you were going to spout it out. I was getting my pen ready.
No, I will get it. I will get it for everybody, and I will put it in the group because I actually need to. The doctor actually came in and handed him the copy of the book even before he left the hospital the last time, and was like, "This is what you're following." So they have literally not strayed from that book at all. And so when I go over to their house, I like dig into it, the nitty gritty. They've actually been doing. Both of him and my mom have been doing Shakeology religiously for a month, and this was something that I mean, they've seen me do it for a long time, but this was like pulling teeth almost, which now they're like all for it. I mean, that's their sweet tooth craving. That's instead of going to the Dairy Queen, they're making themselves a milkshake.
Well, it's so funny that you say that because my husband, love that man, is also a major PETA, yeah. And it's for him to drink Shakeology, like he was on a kick for a long time, but then was like, oh, I don't want to do that. And he talked to the surgeon, who is brilliant, and he asked for a referral to see a dietitian. And so he saw a dietitian, and both of them said, oh yes, you should drink Shakeology. It would actually be really good for you. It will give you a lot of good nutrients. And the dietitian said, I'm not even affiliated with Beachbody, and I tell people to buy it all the time. And he's like, you should probably talk to my wife. But anyway, even the dietitian that he was referred to within like the medical practice told him.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I have always loved it. I've loved it since day 4 of drinking it, because I didn't love it on day 1 or day 2. It took me to day 4. I have loved it since day 4 of drinking Shakeology, and I know how good I feel. But to have doctors saying, yes, do this, is, I think, just, you can't beat that.
Yep. He hasn't had a round of blood work done since he's been consistent on it, but I will be very interested to see what they look like, and I will get my hands on a copy of them.
Yeah.
Take your time. So I guess any other questions from anybody else that doesn't want to ramble like I am right now?
Or that I will, if you keep me on this call.
I'm a rambler.
Right?
Yeah. Harper is not a rambler.
Okay, well, thank you all for being here, Maureen. It was amazing. You might just have to join us every single week.
Oh, I'll come. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will record this, and if anyone wants to watch it back, or you need it and you want to share it with someone, whatever.
Hey, Aim.
What?
I would love to share it if I can have a copy of the recording. I have a couple
Absolutely.
people that ask.
That was Cranky. It's too late for Cranky. I want to do a call of action for everybody this week.
Okay.
I didn't think one up. I thought you could.
You had one.
Okay. You know what? Here's the call of action. And we're going to troubleshoot them for next week. The biggest challenge that you face this week, and as a group, we can figure out how to overcome it. So when it happens again, you can push through that barrier.
Okie
Love
dokie,
it.
artichoke.
Love it.
Okay.
Artichokes are good right now, marinated ones.
Grilled, like.
I have a really good, like, my
Here we
aunt,
go.
like, Italian artichokes.
Maureen, and just you guys, I think Katie and I talk multiple times a day on the phone. But like we have probably 19 conversations going on at one time. We do.
Yeah.
It's just what we do. You know, it's just. she's still not down with like my lingo. I'm like, you know, that thinger I have to do. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like,
Because we talk about 19 different things a day.
yes, but yeah. So yeah, we'd stay on forever, but
Because I have 2 kids going,
But thank you guys so much for being here, all of you. I know, you know, an hour, 15 minutes of your day. Appreciate you guys spending it with us. And let me know if you need the recording. And yes, yep, I'll send it to you. Again, thank you so much for
you're
doing
welcome.
this.
Thank
And
you for asking me.
I hope everybody got something from this and enjoyed it. And if you want to come again next week, we'll be here.
Yay. Have a
All
great
right.
night, everybody.
Continue
Thanks
to
so
grow.
much.
Yeah, thanks, Maureen.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Night.